based on reported abilities and encounters. Aliens, the true evils. The air fractured, not with thunder, but with an unnatural silence. Birds paused mid-song, dogs whimpered and retreated, and the world itself seemed to hold its breath. Above New York City, a shimmering obsidian disk, miles wide, materialized from nothingness. It hung there, a silent promise of oblivion, reflecting the panicked chaos now erupting on the streets below. Major Anya Sharma, her face grim, watched the newsfeed in the Pentagon's war room. Confirmed reports from NORAD, sir. Multiple additional incursions over major global capitals. London, Beijing, Moscow, Sydney, all simultaneously. General Thorne slammed his fist on the table. Simultaneously? How? We had no warning, no detectable EM signature, no thermal exhaust, nothing. Around each colossal disk, smaller, sleeker craft, shaped like polished river stones, began to descend. They weren't fast, but moved with an unnerving, deliberate grace. As they approached ground level, a shimmering, invisible field seemed to project from their undersides. Cars sputtered and died, streetlights flickered and went out, and communication lines went dead. "They're deploying some kind of wide-spectrum EMP," shouts a frantic technician. "All grids are going dark. Satellites are offline." Anya watched a live feed from a police helicopter over Manhattan. As one of the smaller craft drifted over Times Square, the entire sensory overload of the billboards and jumbotrons winked out. The human world, so reliant on its glowing screens, went suddenly profoundly dark. Panic escalated, becoming primal fear. Then came the light, not explosive, but focused. From the underbellies of the Riverstone craft, narrow beams of brilliant white light lanced down. They didn't destroy, not at first. Instead, they seemed to levitate people. Single individuals, then small groups, were gently lifted into the air, struggling in silent terror, until they disappeared into the craft's unseen entry points. "They're abducting people," Anya yelled, a sickening realization dawning on her. "Not destroying, collecting!" She pauses. "Wait, how are we still seeing this?" Attack lets out a single chuckle. "The crafts are in control of it. S. Some kind of targeted takeover." He shrugs. In the ensuing hours, reports from scattered survivors began to trickle in via runners and ham radio. These weren't tales of laser guns and explosions, but something far more insidious. Soldiers who tried to engage the smaller craft with conventional weapons found their movements seized. "It was like I was dreaming," one traumatized Marine recounted, his eyes wide and unfocused. "My body wouldn't move, but I was wide awake. And then a voice, not in my ears, but inside my head. Do not resist. This is for your own good." A woman nearby clears her throat. This was the telepathic mind control and paralysis at play. Witnesses described feeling an overwhelming sense of calm, followed by a profound disorientation. Some would find themselves hours later, kilometers from where they'd been, with a vague, unsettling feeling of missing time, only remember seeing an ordinary bird or a passing cloud, their minds having been subtly screened or altered. Anya saw a pattern. The aliens weren't seeking to eradicate humanity, but to subjugate it. They were systematically dismantling the pillars of human society, not with brute force, but with a terrifying precision. As the invasion progressed, new types of alien entities began to appear, not always from the ships, but seemingly materializing within secure facilities. Security camera footage, before power grids failed completely, showed slender, gray figures simply phasing through reinforced concrete walls, their bodies shimmering for a split second as they passed. These were the silent infiltrators, moving like ghosts through military bunkers, government buildings, and scientific labs. They weren't armed with traditional weapons, but carried small, glowing devices. One such device, described as a scanning wand, was seen hovering over unconscious personnel, performing what appeared to be rapid, invasive biological scans. The true horror began to unfold when the first captured human subjects were found. Not dead, but profoundly altered. Many had tiny, metallic implants embedded beneath their skin, typically in the arm or the base of the skull. Analysis, performed by desperate doctors in makeshift field hospitals, revealed these implants emitted a low-frequency signal, almost like a beacon. Others bore strange, pinprick marks on their bodies, and some, like victims of the fabled Chupa Chupa attacks of old, had small, circular lesions that suggested something had been extracted. The aliens weren't just collecting data, they were collecting biological material. Days turned into weeks. The colossal disk craft remained, acting as silent, ominous anchors in the sky. Beneath them, the atmosphere itself began to change. A strange, metallic taste lingered in the air, and sunlight seemed to pass through a subtle haze. Then came the cases that mirrored the Arcesio Bermudez and Stefan Michalak incidents. Individuals who got too close to a Riverstone craft, or those caught in the periphery of strange light emanations, began to suffer. Their skin becoming inflamed, their hair falling out in clumps, and some experienced rapid, systemic organ failure, as if their bodies were literally decaying from the inside. This wasn't a targeted attack. It was a byproduct, perhaps, of the alien technology's interaction with Earth's environment, or even a deliberate form of environmental adaptation for the invaders. The ultimate goal of the invasion remained chillingly unclear. They had demonstrated overwhelming technological superiority, trans-medium travel for their fleet, anti-gravity propulsion allowing silent, unmatched maneuverability, wide-area EMPs to cripple infrastructure, telepathic control to quell resistance and manipulate memory, matter phasing for infiltration and defense, levitation beams for collection, advanced biological scanning and implantation for unknown purposes, and an underlying ambient radiation or energy emission that hinted at a disregard for human life. They hadn't come for a bloody war, but for a systematic, terrifyingly efficient harvest. Humanity, it seemed, was not to be exterminated, but repurposed. As Anya looked up at the unchanging disk in the sky, a single, horrifying thought echoed in her mind. They aren't invading. They're simply moving in, and all our best efforts were barely even noticed. Just then, a large humanoid grabs her around the waist. It's been centuries since I've had human, it says, biting Anya's head off. The creature smiles. The heads are always so juicy with mush. Around the ring of stones at Göbekli Tepe, more giants sit as humans are brought out on carts, their minds trapped in an illusion of peace and safety by nearby energy beings. The almost human-looking giants looking up into the sky in fear as heavy drops of rain start to fall, and a seemingly reality-shaking